I won't make a worst of list for TV shows, but I did see two shows that certainly deserve to be on one. Daredevil Born Again and Alien Earth. Which of the two was worst? Alien Earth, certainly. I can't remember seeing another TV series that was so badly written and conceived. It was a combination of half-baked political ideas, poorly understood concepts borrowed from other shows or movies, and tedious caricatures presented as characters. Daredevil at least had stretches of good quality, mostly involving Wilson Fisk, and it suffered from being retooled after half of it was already shot. I didn't see 10 shows I hated, though. Who has time to watch that much television? I never understood how people have time to binge watch so often, but then again, I do play a lot of Skyrim. Anyway, the criterion for inclusion in my top 10 is that the season must have concluded within the year. 2025 must have been the year in which it aired its final episode. Only then does it become a full work. That's why my number 10 is Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Here's a show that really didn't stick the landing, which had a plot that didn't make sense. Or The Beginning, which looked too much like real-world suburbia. But Jude Law's take on Long John Silver was fun, and some of it really did capture the charm of kids on a pirate adventure, even if those kids were terribly written, especially compared to the ones on my number 9 pick, which is Stranger Things Season 5. This season was dominated by plot business, getting the characters from point A to B. But the writers still found time to write Derek and Holly and even Dustin like real children. I love the scene of Derek meeting Holly and Max in the woods and immediately bragging that he's friends with Mike and all the cool kids now. At number 8, I have Star Wars Visions, Volume 3. Thankfully, the producers decided to return to the first season format of episodes produced entirely by Japanese anime studios. It's a mixed bag, but the episodes made by Production IG and Studio Trigger are great, and an episode by Ohira Shinya is a bold change of pace. At number 7 is Only Murders in the Building, Season 5. This seemed like the most comedic season with very little pathos, except a bit between Martin Short and Meryl Streep. But it worked. It was very funny. The season may have my favorite group of guest stars. Renee Zellweger was surprisingly well cast as a villain. Number 6 is Doctor Who, Season 15. Yes, it's convoluted. Yes, Russell T Davies seems completely out of touch. But occasionally the madness was fun, and even if it seems Gott was ultimately not especially fond of the show, he was still a pretty good 15th Doctor. Number 5 is Etoile. Etoile? Etoile? I don't know. While it may have lost its way in the second half, this one has just too much going for it to go any lower on the list. Amy Sherman Palladino's crackling dialogue with the beauty of ballet and the interesting opportunity it affords for political and cultural commentary made the show really captivating. After the success of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, I'm not sure why Amazon buried this one. Number 4 is The Sandman, Season 2. Despite the ambiguous controversy that has somehow disappeared to Neil Gaiman, or perhaps because of it, the show did fairly well on Netflix. Despite the decision to jettison much of the source material in the second half, leading to a lot of boring filler, there's enough left over from the legendary comic series to make this a rewarding viewing experience. Number 3 is Wednesday, Season 2. Better written than, but somehow inferior to, the first season, this one's a bit like Skeleton Crew in that its beginning and ending are the weakest parts. But I love that Asylum Escaped episode in the middle, and Fred Armisen and Joanna Lumley are terrific additions to the cast. Hopefully next season the writers will be allowed to make Wednesday vulnerable again. Number 2 is Panty and Stocking with Garter Belts, Season 2. The surprised return of one of the most transgressive Japanese anime series of all time wasn't quite the revelation of the original, but it was a welcome reminder of the early 2000s, when Japanese animation studios were trying some really exciting things. And number 1, of course, is Andor Season 2. It's still hard for most people to believe that Disney allowed Star Wars content this good to be released under their stewardship. It's been a while since popular science fiction has been this thought-provoking, this full of engrossing moral conflict played out between intriguing characters. It somehow fits perfectly within the Star Wars universe and seems to harmonize with the increasingly violent and strange political circumstances of our real world. This thing is a hell of an accomplishment, and I don't expect to see a show this good for a long time, but we'll always have Andor.